She couldn't sleep without socks, not because of comfort, because her feet were cold, even in July. But just 3 days after adding this one fruit, things started to shift. Her circulation, her sleep, her sense of energy. The surprising part? It wasn't medication, but something that topped the charts in a study on seniors. And it's likely already in your grocery store. So, what makes this fruit the #1 pick for better circulation after 60? And how should you use it? Let's explore the quiet power behind this ruby red remedy. After 60, your blood vessels lose flexibility. It's why cold feet, mental fog, and low energy creep in, silently. The problem isn't just poor circulation. It's what happens when nitric oxide production drops and inflammation builds up. But nature has a solution. One specific fruit was shown to improve blood flow, lower blood pressure, and even sharpen cognition in adults 55 and older. And no, it's not berries or watermelon, it's pomegranate. And its effect goes deeper than you might think. Let's walk through the science, the habits, and a story of healing. 1. Why circulation declines. After 60, Rosa's feet weren't just cold, they were warning signs of something deeper happening in her body. After 60, your blood vessels lose flexibility. It starts quietly, but over time, it shows up as cold feet, heavy legs, or that vague sense of slowing down. The reason? Your body makes less nitric oxide, a key molecule that tells blood vessels to open. Without it, your circulation slows, especially to the parts farthest from your heart, your legs, your brain, your feet. Behind the scenes, an enzyme called PNAS usually helps produce nitric oxide. But as we age, inflammation creeps in. And when markers like IL-6 and IL-1 beta rise, they block that enzyme. Less nitric oxide, less flow. Think of your vessels like hoses. When you're young, they're elastic, like new garden tubing. But after 60, without support, they start to stiffen, like old hoses left in the sun. Cracked, rigid, sluggish. That's what Rosa was feeling. Not just temperature loss, but a soft fading of energy, of movement, of warmth. But here's what most people don't know. This process is changeable. Your body can relearn how to produce nitric oxide. And one fruit, backed by clinical trials, helps reopen those inner valves. That's where we're heading next. If your feet need socks in July, this next piece is for you. 2. How pomegranate activates nitric oxide pathways. If your vessels feel stiff or slow, one fruit could flip the switch, fast. Pomegranate. It's more than just sweet or colorful. It's biologically active, especially in adults over 60. Once consumed, whether juice, extract, or arils, it moves through 2 main routes, digestion and saliva. Along the way, it triggers nitric oxide production and reawakens blood flow. That's because pomegranate activates PNAS, the enzyme responsible for making nitric oxide. As nitric oxide rises, blood vessels expand, blood pressure drops, flow improves. A 2005 study from PNAS called nitric oxide, a molecular switch. When it's on, vessels widen. Oxygen reaches farther. When it's off, circulation stalls, especially in the brain, legs, and feet. Think of nitric oxide as your body's traffic light system. When it's working, green lights flow blood freely. When it's blocked, your body hits reds at every corner, tightness, cold hands, and foggy thoughts. Pomegranate turns the lights green again, and the clinical support is real. In a 2025 trial at Manchester Metropolitan University, adults aged 55 to 70 took 740 milligrams of extract daily. In 12 weeks, their blood pressure dropped and their mental clarity improved. So, here's your start. Drink 4 ounces of pure pomegranate juice on an empty stomach, 30 minutes before a morning walk. Or, if you prefer capsules, go with 740 to 1,000 milligrams of standardized extract after breakfast. You might feel warmer hands, lighter steps, a clearer head. That's nitric oxide doing its job. Let it become a rhythm, a quiet signal to your vessels. Open up. Breathe again. Have you ever had cold hands or feet, even when the room was warm? Drop a comment. You're not alone. 3. The brain benefit, more flow, sharper thinking. Blood flow fuels memory. That's why nitric oxide, the molecule that tells your vessels to open, is essential after 60. When levels drop, so does mental clarity. Rosa didn't know that, but she felt it. She'd reread recipes, forget birthdays. Conversations trailed off. Her brain wasn't failing. It was underfed. The brain uses 20% of the body's oxygen. Without wide, flexible vessels to carry it, your memory systems, especially the hippocampus, slow down. That's where nitric oxide comes in. In a 2025 study from Manchester Metropolitan University, adults aged 55 to 70 took 740 milligrams of pomegranate extract daily. In just 12 weeks, they showed measurable gains in cognitive reasoning and processing speed. Here's why. Nitric oxide doesn't just improve blood flow, it acts as a neurovascular messenger. It widens cerebral vessels, delivering more oxygen, nutrients, and glucose to where your brain needs them most. Imagine your mind like a garden. Without water pressure, even the best soil dries out. But restore that gentle force, and everything starts blooming again. That's what happened to Rosa. 3 weeks into her routine, extract with breakfast, she caught herself remembering names, numbers, even old song lyrics. Her confidence returned with her clarity. Want to try it? Take 740 milligrams of standardized pomegranate extract each morning, ideally with breakfast. Or pair 4 ounces of juice with a handful of walnuts. They enhance nitric oxide effects naturally. Track your small wins. Maybe it's recalling a grocery list, or not needing to check your calendar twice. Brains respond to rhythm. So, do blood vessels. Have you ever walked into a room and forgotten why? That might not be age, it might be circulation. The juice ritual, small dose, fast effect. Just 4 ounces of juice, 30 minutes before a walk. Rosa didn't expect much, but by day 5, her feet, cold for months, began to warm. Her steps felt lighter. And it all started with one simple rhythm. Juice, then movement. Here's why it works. Fast. Pomegranate juice is rich in polyphenols, especially punic allergens, which stimulate nitric oxide production through both your saliva and gut. When taken on an empty stomach, it absorbs quickly, activating blood flow before your first step. In one 2016 study, MDPI Nutrients, seniors who consume pomegranate saw a 5.22 millimeters of mercury drop in systolic blood pressure over 12 weeks. But in acute trials, even a single 1,000 milligram dose increased blood flow by 18.49 milliliters per minute after light movement. That's why combining juice with walking works better than either alone. Drink 4 ounces of 100% pomegranate juice 30 minutes before a short morning walk. Why before walking? Because movement boosts nitric oxide. The juice gives your body the raw material, polyphenols. The walk activates the pump. Together, they open your vessels more effectively than either would on its own. Think of your blood vessels like a fountain. Juice fills the basin, walking turns on the motor. You don't need intensity. Just 15 minutes of gentle movement can help warm your feet, lift your energy, and reset your circulation. That's what happened for Rosa. Her morning walk became more than exercise. It was a trigger, a way to tell her body, flow again. Not pressure, not force, just flow. Have you ever tried walking first thing in the morning? What changed in your feet, your focus, or your mood? Let us know below. Elasticity at the capillary level, long-term healing capillaries, your smallest blood vessels, are where real healing begins. They deliver oxygen and nutrients directly to tissues. And when nitric oxide is supported daily, these tiny vessels begin to soften, stretch, and flow again. That's what Rosa felt by week 4. She didn't need socks at night anymore. Her legs didn't ache after errands. And when she stood barefoot to brush her teeth, she smiled. Not because of comfort, but because it felt effortless again. Behind that ease, vascular remodeling. In a 2016 clinical study, MDPI Nutrients, adults over 60 who used pomegranate extract for 12 weeks showed lowered blood pressure, but also improved vessel tone. Even more striking, inflammation markers like IL-6 and IL-1 beta dropped significantly. That's the silent repair happening inside. Think of your vessels like muscles. A single stretch feels good, But daily stretching, that's how flexibility returns. And that's how Rosa healed, not with intensity, but with rhythm. Juice before her morning walk, arrows in her oatmeal extract on her busiest days. By week 4, her ankles weren't swollen at night. The deep sock marks faded, and she could walk farther before needing a rest. This wasn't just relief, it was repatterning, the body's quiet way of remembering how to flow. So, how long should you give it? Aim for 3 months. That's when capillaries respond. That's when healing sticks. Do your legs feel heavy in the evening? Or your socks leave deep marks? That's your microcirculation asking for help. 6. Anti-inflammation from within. IL-6 and IL-1 beta chronic inflammation quietly blocks circulation. For Rosa, it showed up as swelling, soft puffiness in her feet, ankles that left deep sock lines. But that changed, not overnight. Through cooling, not force. 2 key culprits, IL-6 and IL-1 beta, inflammatory molecules that rise with age. They act like microscopic rust inside your blood vessels, wearing down the lining, stiffening the walls, and slowing the flow. That rust keeps blood from reaching your legs, even when your heart is strong, but pomegranate helps reverse that gently. In a 12-week study published in MDPI Nutrients, 2016, adults over 60 who took pomegranate extract daily saw a significant drop in IL-6 and IL-1 beta, alongside improved vessel tone and lower blood pressure. When inflammation cools, nitric oxide flows freely again. Vessels soften. Oxygen reaches deeper. Even your mitochondria, your body's energy engines, work better in low inflammation environments. And you can feel it. Rosa no longer pressed her thumb into her ankle to check swelling. Her shoes fit at day's end. Her legs felt lighter after walking to the mailbox. Want to support that same shift? Try this. 4 ounces of pomegranate juice first thing in the morning, or 740 to 1,000 milligrams of standardized extract with breakfast. Add omega-3s, like walnuts or flax seeds, 3 to 4 times a week to further reduce IL-6. It's not about fighting inflammation, it's about cooling the system, gently, daily, because when inflammation eases, the body remembers how to flow. Do your legs swell by afternoon, or leave deep marks from socks? That may be your microcirculation, quietly asking for help. Rosa didn't chase transformation. She simply showed up for herself. Each morning, a quiet ritual, 4 ounces of juice, a walk beneath the trees, and a promise to keep flowing. Not to be perfect, but to feel present, in her body, in her breath, in her day. And slowly things shifted. Her feet warmed, her steps steadied. The fog in her thinking lifted, just enough to remember her niece's birthday without the calendar's help. That wasn't magic. It was biology. Honored, not rushed, because healing, real healing, doesn't shout. It whispers. It returns with rhythm, with patience, with one small, loving habit at a time. And maybe, for you, it starts the same way. A cup of deep red juice, a 15-minute walk, a decision to let your vessels open, and trust your body to remember. If this spoke to you, share one thing you're ready to try. Juice, a walk, a softer start to your morning. Dr. Hartley's listening, and so is your body.